Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do some mixed media art. I've not done any mixed media for such a long time, especially on YouTube. Whenever I've done it, I've generally not filmed it, so I thought today that I would do some filming of some mixed media. So this is what I'm using as a background. My good friend Susie Bray came down and we got to play with her Gelli Plate. And this is one of the backgrounds that I did, and I didn't really know what to do with it, so I'm going to use this and I'm going to create some kind of seaside theme. So I had a book given to me by my other good friend Stephanie Kitchen, and it's called Sunny Days, and it's a vintage scrapbook sort of papers, and it's all about seaside. And it is a beautiful book, and I've been hoarding it. I've not been using it, so I thought it was about time that I actually started using it. So I've pulled out some pages here and here that I'm going to use. I've got a nice sort of stencil that I got from AliExpress a few days ago, so I'm going to be using that. And then I've got some images that I got from the Astronauts group that I was a member of, and I printed these off ages ago, so I'm going to use those as well. That's from Tisha Moore's website, and some distress ink. So I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to probably speed most of the video up and not talk and see what happens, and then I'll speak to you at the end of the video. Okay, happy creating. So I've got my images. The stencil didn't work. I've deleted that bit from the video because it was just awful. It just wasn't very good. I don't know why. I'm not quite sure which bit of it wasn't working. I think it's because I've not got my blending tool with me and I can't find my blending tool, so I've kind of given up on that. So I'm just going to create some collage instead and do some collage art, which is a shame because I really wanted to do some stencil work as well. But not to worry, not to worry. Everything's okay. So I'm just having a look at what I'm doing and how I'm going to do it. I don't tend to have plans when I do mixed media work. I just kind of go with the flow and see what happens. Sort of zetti, collage art, that sort of thing. This is not going to be very zetti, it's more sort of collage, but yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so that's my main image in place. I'm going to use some Unipin pens to outline it. And these just make the background stand out a lot more. Sort of really make the image pop out the page. These pens are great because they go over paint. Not wet paint, because that will ruin the nib. But once paint is dry, it will go over it, which is brilliant. And they're also amazing for writing in journals as well. They are my favourite pens by far. So I will put a link down to my Amazon affiliate link where you can purchase these amazing pens as well. Okay, so this is a brush pen. Again, I got it really cheap from AliExpress. I don't tend to use it as a brush pen because I'm not very good at brush lettering. So I tend to use it to stand out on my art. And I'm just doing a bit of doodling really. It's supposed to be a bit corally. I appreciate that it's probably not, but that's fine. Mixed media is not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to just be a self-expression. Just going to go over it again just to make it a little bit darker. Yep, quite like that with the background. I'm just going to do a few circles. So these could be interpreted as bubbles, I suppose. But again, it's not meant to be neat, it's just a bit of fun. I'm going to go and get my white Posca pen. I'm actually wondering, you know, if my white Posca pen might use the stencils and go through it. So I'm going to try it. I'm just going to mix it in with these. This seems to be working much better. I'm just randomising and going over what I've already done, but it's fine. So yeah, that works a little bit better, although it still runs through. Might be better actually just not using a stencil and just doing it myself. Yeah, I think it works much better if I just do my own. Not sure about that one. I'm going to rub that one out. Just create a little effect with it. There we go. Okay, so what I have bought my Posca for is for the lettering and to add my lettering to it. So I'm going to put, "Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside." And Posca pens are great for going over paint, and they are very bright as well. Now some people draw the outline first. I just like to freehand it. I like to have a mix of different sizes of letters as well. That's something I saw Tisha Moore do, which I really liked. And the placement of letters as well. And just so this one comes higher up. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now so you can just see it in action. Okay, so that is my lettering. I am going to outline that as well. So I'm just going to check that it's dry and just give it a blast on the hairdryer. There we go. I'm just going to outline some of these circles so they pop a little bit more. Yeah, liking that. And I think whilst it's still drying a little bit, I'm just going to go over my coral and just have some little dots. I have really missed doing this type of art. I don't know why I stopped, because I love it. it's my favourite type. And I think it's just because I haven't had time really with work. Do you know what? That's an excuse, because I have had time. I've been doing other things. So there's no reason why I couldn't have done some of this, to be honest. And look at it. I love it. I love this. Absolutely. Oh, I've got the wrong pen. It's a really fat one. I know what I'm going to do then. So I can rectify that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow. Just when you're adding shadow to letters, you have to choose which side the shadow is going to go. So if it goes on the left, then the inside bit needs to go on the right. Like that. Does that make sense? And you also need to decide, are you going at the top? Is the shadow coming across the top or the bottom? You can't have it come across both, because that's not how it works. So I generally do top left for my shadows. I outline the whole thing as well as the shadow, but that's just in a very fine outline. And again, this is something I learned on the Tisha Moore Artstronauts group. So then the shadow comes here, like so. Okay, so I am going to speed it up now that I've shown you how to do the shadow. Okay, so I did turn the video off for a bit while I was doing the shadow. Now you can see I've left the bottom bit without a shadow so that you can see the difference that the shadow actually makes. And I actually quite like that. I quite like it like that. So I'm going to leave that like that so that it's got a little bit of a contrast. Now where I did this dot and I said, oh, I know what I'm going to do. So the first letter, I'm just going to have a sort of half dots just to make it stand out a little bit more, and it's just going to be the first letter of each word that I do that to. So I'm doing it so that it's whichever bit is the longest. So on the D it's that one, the bit where it goes down, and that's where I'm putting the dot. So I'm actually going to challenge you as part of my Facebook group, Kerry May Makes a Mess, to create something where you use this sort of style of lettering. So you can do it where you add shadow, you create different size letters. You might want to use the dot idea, but I want you to create a piece of art where it uses this sort of zetti style of lettering, and then please share it on my Facebook group, Kerry May Makes a Mess, and I will put the link below, and we'll have this as the January challenge in my Facebook group. So there will be a prize as well for completing it. There will be a prize draw. Okay, so I think I'm done. I really like that. And it's so simple as well. I mean, you saw that did not really take me very long. It probably took me half an hour. I've got like really dirty hands, but you know, a bit of collage onto a already completed background that was just sort of sitting there for ages. I've added a few quirks. Like I've put some sort of highlighted the rosy cheeks, added a bit of lettering, added a bit of zetti design to it. And yeah, and there's my finished piece. And I do like to be beside the seaside, so perfect. Okay, so don't forget to head over to my group, Kerry May Makes a Mess, to take part in the next challenge, and I will see you very soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.